Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Real Horror Show. I'm your host Samantha, and I'm joined, as always, by the Stormy Skies.
Hello, listeners.
This is our first mini show where we are trying to make the Stormy Skies into a weeaboo.
What does that mean?
One of the people you probably encountered at Hot Topic who take anime way too seriously and interpret all Japanese culture as it is presented in anime.
Is calling someone that like almost like calling them like a nerd, like an anime nerd? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, there are plenty of those at Hot Topic, let me tell you. But yeah, so we're finally done with the Vampire Diaries universe right now.
We still have legacies, but we'll get to that after the strike and after we take a little break.
Little breaky poo from that.
The Mikelsons.
Yes, the movie, I know, right? It's like, God, I've had enough of them for a little while. Yeah.
But 3 episodes in, the first 5 to 10 episodes, I can't really remember. It's been a handful of years since I watched Death Note, is a lot of exposition. Setting up the world.
Yes, yeah.
And one thing I've noticed about Death Note in this rewatch that I've only noticed now that I'm connected through TikTok and listening to more diverse voices is it does kind of represent like the traditional Japanese household very well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because the mom is very much in the homemaker role, which is still very, very common in Japan. They still uphold that traditional nuclear family more so than the rest of the world. But so the wife is the mother, the homemaker, stays at home, but she manages the household finances. So it all works out.
And the father is the one that works all day.
Yeah.
And then there's the sister and the brother. But yeah, so far, the first episode, I want to say, I wasn't sure if it was going to like get more exciting and engaging for me. But now that I'm on episode 3, it's really picked up the pace. So it is pretty fun to watch. And the story is really interesting as it unfolds because I really never know what's going to happen next. It's really interesting. I really so his name is Light.
Yes.
That's an interesting name. But yeah, I like his character. I also like the fact that the antagonist, air quotes, is L, which is like the same letter for Light. I don't know if that has any connection, some in your face connection with the letter L. But no, I find the banter funny, but I find the character interesting because now he's obsessed with like killing people.
I think a good way to describe Light is he's very much a Ted Bundy type, but he's trying very hard to justify being a serial killer because that's ultimately what he is. But he's like, no, I'm killing bad people and fixing the world.
Right. He is. Yeah. But I also like sometimes feel a little bad for all these people just dying that are in jail because they're in jail to like rehabilitate. So they're just trying to get better. I hope. But he's like, I'm gonna kill all the bad people. And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy that he killed like so many people in like a week. That's so wild. But yeah, and he keeps going. But I think that he's interesting because he's just a high school student, but he's very clever and smart. And I just pretend that he is like Leon Kennedy because he kind of looks like him. And it kind of makes it a little bit more palatable for me.
When you brought that up, I had to look up to see if one of the Leon voice actors did Light Yagami in English. No, but
damn.
But that happens a lot. There's a lot of voice actor crossovers in anime and video games because they all exist in the same world.
Right. And Resident Evil, that's Capcom.
Yeah.
Which is a Japanese company, right?
Yes.
Capcom is Japanese? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm just like, he has like the same hair and he's tall and thin. I mean, Leon's not that thin, but I'm just like, I just pretend it's him. Yeah. and I pretend that the other guy that holds up the L laptop with the trench coat is Wesker.
And it's interesting that you brought up that it is a slow start because Death Note the anime and the manga exist in this kind of changing period of shonen. So this is what we call a shonen anime / manga, because it was more so directed towards a young male audience, whereas shoujo is directed towards a female audience. So with shonen, you have Death Note, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, all the like big actiony animes that are very episodic and have a lot of action in each episode, and there's some like big arcs like in Dragon Ball Z, but a lot of it is just kind of villain of the week. And in 2006, that style was shifting away, and that's why you get anime series that end up being like 300 episodes, because there's more filler episodes that they produce while they wait for more issues of the comic to come out, because these were originally published on a monthly basis.
Okay.
And that's also why you get a lot of exposition reminding you what happened in the last episode early in the episode.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just a holdover from kind of that older model that I don't really, the only anime David and I are watching right now is Attack on Titan, which is finally ending in the next few months. Yeah. But they don't really do that anymore because more things are written with streaming in mind.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense with streaming in mind. Yeah, that's a whole, I feel like a lot of things are changing format because of that, you know. And like binging, the ability to binge instead of having to wait a week or whatever if it was on network TV. But yeah. So I am so far liking it. I think
that's good. All of my weeaboo friends agreed that I gave you an easy anime to start with.
Yeah. I really do like, I can't really find anything that I like dislike, because I'm trying to like enjoy every aspect. And I do find that like sometimes there's like different cultural like parts of conversation that are interesting to compare since they're in Japan. And then also,
so that's actually something that's going to come up for you in the next couple of episodes is names in Japan are not often, but sometimes spelled with a symbol that is typically used to mean something else. So Light's name is spelled with the kanji that means shining, but he's called Light.
Is Light like a traditional Japanese name?
No, it's a main character name.
I see. I was like, Light. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. But his sister is Samara, which is it Samara? I think it's Samara. She's
something like that.
That's a traditional Japanese name. Which speaking of Samara, because my computer keyboard's not working and I can't see new releases on Shudder right now, we're gonna watch The Ring for our next movie.
Ooh, The Ring.
I'm specifically calling it The Ring because it's not under Ringu on Shudder. It's under Ring. I was really confused when I looked it up yesterday, and Ringu did not bring up any results, but The Ring did. So that is the 1998 original that I've never watched, but I have watched the US remake with Naomi Watts, who is in every US horror movie remake.
Yeah, so we're not watching the Naomi Watts one, but we're watching The Ring. 1998, you said?
Yes.
Oh, just Ring. Yes.
Yep.
I see it. There it is. That looks scary. Okay, so just the picture is like the eyeball.
Which, thinking back on it, we watch a lot of international horror movies just because that's the nature of this podcast, randomly selecting movies on Netflix. But I don't think we've really delved into Japanese horror, which is iconic in the horror community.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm glad this strike is allowing us to venture into that. Ooh, I think Audition is Audition Korean? No, I think Audition's Japanese.
Is it available?
I think it's been on Shudder.
Oh, really?
So it might still be on there. And I've wanted to watch Audition my whole life.
Me too. I've never seen that. If that's on Shudder.
Damn. Well, it's on Tubi at least.
Yeah, I see that it's
and
on
AMC Plus, which usually means it's also on Shudder.
Shudder. Okay. Tubi. So okay.
It's at least on Tubi. So we'll soft bookmark Audition for our next movie review.
I think we should. Damn.
Yes, that is a Japanese horror movie. And it's what My Chemical Romance is. Honey, this mirror isn't big enough for the two of us. Music video is based on.
Really? I've never seen that music video.
Yeah, it's basically just a recreation of the movie.
Well, I'll have to watch that.
But yeah, it was between Ring or some newer queer-coded horror movie, but since my keyboard's not working and I don't have the Shutter app, we'll just hold off on that.
Okay, cool.
But no,
those two sound excellent.
I'm glad you're enjoying Death Note and that you got past the opening credits. Anime openings are very intense.
I can skip it looks like I can skip it on the streaming platform that we're not supporting. But
yes.
No, I'm having fun. I thought the funniest part so far was whenever, I think it was in the first episode, Light's mom came to his room, and I swear it was like 10 o'clock at night, and she was like, hey, the neighbors brought us this bushel of apples. Do you want some apples right now? It's like, woman, it is 10 o'clock at night. He's not wanting any apples.
But he is a gifted boy. He is the light of her life.
That is true.
The daughter is just there.
She's just, but no, she's smart too, because she was doing really hard homework problems in the last episode, and she was asking for his help. But like, I think she's in like an advanced class maybe for her age, because he made it seem like he was impressed with her like doing these math problems. Yeah, but not as smart as Light. Light's the smartest one ever.
Yeah. So Death Note is essentially Ted Bundy gets a magical notebook that lets him kill everybody, and it's two people trying to be smarter than each other.
That is now what I'm getting with Light and L. But why is Light want to kill just because he found this notebook? Has he unlocked something within himself that he didn't realize he was like a murderer?
I think so. I mean, there's like he's clearly bored in the first episode.
Yes, he's bored. Yeah,
that's what draws him and Ryuk together, is that they're both bored, and
let's make a difference.
Yeah,
I guess
it's hinted at in these early episodes that he wants to follow in his father's footsteps and become a police officer. So I think he sees this as a way to bring divine justice to the world and create world peace, because he's only like 16 or 17. He's getting ready to apply to colleges. So it's a naive outlook that he's the one justified to make these decisions, and the rest of the world needs to catch up with him.
Yeah. It's pretty intense though. He's a pretty interesting character to watch, because I'm always engaged with what he's doing, because he just like has no remorse. But also he is really smart. It seems like he's got a good plan so far, but I'm only on episode 3.
You're just getting started.
I'm just getting started. And then the other thing I think is funny is that Ryuk, the demon, his mouth is like perpetually open all the time.
Yeah. And listen,
and like,
rewatching this post 2017 American Death Note remake, Ryuk's always been Willem Dafoe coded. Like,
I'm seeing that now that you told me that it was Willem Dafoe. So I'm just kind of picturing him, and even like the voice and the mannerisms. And like, I also think it's funny that his eyes like go in different directions. He just looks like ridiculously goofy. And it's funny that he's just always there in his room, because I guess he can't go anywhere. He has to stay with him because he has the book.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
He can kind of travel on his own, but he's connected to Light.
Gotcha.
Because of the book.
Cool. Because the book, yeah. All right. So the last thing that happened at the end of episode 3 was that Ryuk was talking to Light, and he was saying that if Light gives up half of his like years of life, then he can have like the demon eyes, where he can see everyone's name and how many years they have left to live. And I don't know what he decided to do, because that's the next episode. So, we will see. And if I were him, I don't know what I would choose. I mean, it's a good idea to be able to see everyone's name so he could not be caught. But then he would give up half his life, and I don't know how much time he has left to live. Probably regular lifetime. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the challenge.
Also, I was pretty surprised that Light's father is like the chief of police.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's supposed to
like,
be
oh
a
my
big
God.
twist.
That was a big twist in
Early
my
twist.
opinion. That was a big twist in my opinion. I was like, hey, I didn't even know he had a dad because I didn't see him yet. He's just been at work this whole time.
Because he's trying to catch Kira, the serial killer.
Kira. Yeah. That's the killer name. Yeah, so I think that it's pretty good so far.
Good. I can't wait for us to watch the Netflix movie. And
do you think we should just to watch it
when the strike's over, of course? But
of course, yeah.
But they kind of miss the point of everything.
Damn,
and while I don't know if the anime fully qualifies as horror, I think it's horror adjacent since, well, I mean, it is horror, but we're looking at it through the killer's eyes, so it's not scary.
Yes.
But the Netflix adaptation went full horror with it, or attempted to, and it lost a lot of the underlying messages about what is a god to a non-believer. So like Ryuk is a god, like actually a god of death, and Light doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But for many, this mysterious Kira is becoming a godlike figure, but L doesn't give a shit. He's just a killer.
Yes. And L seems to be like, is he like a master hacker or something? It looks like he's in a room by himself with just a computer.
He is the world's greatest detective.
That is very cool. So, so we'll see what happens, because they're definitely they're like the same person but opposites.
Yeah.
Cool.
But not too opposite. They both want to bring justice to the world.
Yes, they do. Yes. And it feels like the only opposite is that Light wants to do it by way of just like killing all the bad guys, but L is like in regards to like real justice, like who really deserves, you know what I mean? So there's like that naivety with Light, and L doesn't have that because he's older, and of course, but it's very multi-layered so far. Only 3 episodes in. Yeah.
But I say that's a wrap. We have to go get a birthday present for our friend Michael.
All right, Michael, happy birthday.
And I guess next mini show we'll try and get to episode 10, which I don't. Yes. I remember big plot points, but I don't remember like these mini arcs that happen.
Yes, I'm happy to remind you of any little things, and then we'll get to the big stuff as it comes. So I'll definitely watch until 10, and then in the meantime, Ring. Audition. Yes,
Audition will be our next one.
Okay, Ring. It is not the American version.
Yep.
Sweet. All right, cool. Happy birthday, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.
And there's a creepy dog that always follows you.